Welcome to the Danny Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Insightful and witty commentary, probing interviews, and detours from the beaten path.
Every once in a while, we have to bring out the big dog.
Yeah.
Oh, God help us. It's time for Danny Unleashed. Sponsored by Easton Roofing, where integrity matters. Go to eastonroofing.com for more.
Hour number 2 of the program begins right now. Soren Petro with you as I am live at Paymore, 8933 West 135th Street. Sell or buy electronics. You can sell your old electronics. You can come in here and get stuff cheaper if you'd like. Some of the used stuff that is here, you can take advantage of it. We just spoke with the co-founder and CEO of Paymore here. We were talking with Stephen Bruce about this business. Very much a growing business. We've seen a lot of people come through the doors today. You can come in and unload. For me, we were cleaning out the closet, laptops, iPod, and iTouch or something. I don't even know what it was. iPads. We were bringing that in, and you basically will, get cash for it. You put it right in your pocket. Plus, they wipe everything down. Military grade cleaning of all the information that's on there, so you don't have to worry about what's going to happen with the devices. And then everything is responsibly recycled, so nothing poor is going into the environment. That's what you can do right here. Get cash for those old electronics. I had a whole corner of an office with stuff that was just junk we weren't using, and going to get cash for it right here on the spot. You can do it as well. If there's no value, they're happy to keep it and still keep it recycled. So if nothing else, you get rid of everything. Pretty good chance you're going to put some cash in your pocket. And remember, they are giving back to Big Brothers Big Sisters as well, raising money for them today and tomorrow, donating a portion of the value of your electronics to Big Brothers Big Sisters. So you're giving back to the community as well. They're open Monday through Friday 10 to 7. Saturdays 10 to 4. Sundays they are closed. So come on in here and take advantage. We're also registering people to win a brand new PlayStation 5. You heard me right. A brand new PlayStation 5. You can come in and see if they got maybe some of the old gaming systems. You can get rid of your old gaming system right here. They're happy to take those as well. We're also going to be giving somebody that has signed up a team-signed KU basketball, a team-signed Sporting KC soccer ball, and a Bushnell Golf rangefinder. Going to be giving all that away, but you got to be signed up. And remember, when you sign up, that anybody who buys or sells anything here at Paymore will get 3 free additional entries. So grab that old laptop, grab that old iPhone, grab that old iPad, whatever it is you've got that you need to unload. I'll bring it here to Paymore, 8933 West 135th Street. We're just west of Antioch. They buy, they sell, they're right here for you. Come on down and get rid of a bunch of junk and put some bucks in your pocket. Let's talk to Danny Clinkscale, a little Danny Unleashed, brought to you by our friends at Easton Roofing. Danny, how are you, sir?
Doing just fine, Soren. Very busy day today. My wife had a recital today at noontime at the Westport Presbyterian Church Noontime Brown Bag Lunch Series. So she and her piano accompanist did a show, and it was great. Very fun.
Okay. Well, thank you.
And now
thank
out
you.
here. So thanks to the people who came out, and she loves performing. Doesn't do it that often anymore, but she enjoys it and has another one in October at Johnson County Community College. Check my Facebook page for details.
There you go. Shameless plugs,
Yes.
but certainly happy wife, happy life, Danny. So I think you've checked that box.
Yes.
Here today. I'm proud of you. The Royals, 4 in a row now, losing to the Detroit Tigers. The one thing, we've been saying it for about a week and a half, the one thing they couldn't do to screw up this season was get swept by the Detroit Tigers. So what did they do? They went out and got swept by the Detroit Tigers. The panic button should be hit. How hard would you take your fist and slam it on the panic button? Would you just reach the pinky over there a little bit, maybe give it a slight touch? Where are you on the panic button with the Royals now?
The pinky's a little light. I don't want to slam it, so I'll put my thumb on it and haven't pressed it yet. But I will press it if they lose tonight.
Really? Okay, tonight is regardless of what happens elsewhere, just a loss tonight?
Well, it certainly would be, better if they didn't lose. I mean, if the other guys lost, but both of them probably won't. And I think it's just going to be getting into their head even more right now. It's got to be in their head a little bit anyway. After 4 in a row and doing that to the Tigers, they pretty much knew if they just win one of those games, it's really an uphill climb for the Tigers. Now it's pretty realistic. So
one of the reasons why I think tonight is such maybe a fulcrum, a pivot point, is because of the pitching match. You've got Waka against a guy who's struggled 0-4 with an ERA in the 7, not just to win the game, but I think they need to go out and get 4 or 5 off this dude.
No, they aren't going to get 4.
4.
They never score 4.
Right, but if they can get 4 just to establish, hey, the offense that looked so bad for the last 25 innings, wherever it was, they still have something. But if they go out there and it's 1-1 in the 5th, and he's dealing, or if they're down, I think that not only does it damage them in the standings, I think it really damages the psyche to think this offense now, it isn't just Detroit, it's this guy. That I think could have longer lasting implications than just losing the game.
Right, but now we're down to so few games. But I think the Royals, this doesn't sound like anything I certainly want to research, and might be even harder for Curtis to research, but the Royals probably score 4 runs less percentage of the time than any other team.
You mean they
exactly 4 runs? I mean, they score like 3 or less, or they score a lot.
That's
I mean, you can't say their offense is bad overall because it's 3rd in the American League in runs scored, but they do have a lot of games where they don't score much at all. So, maybe that's anecdotal when you're watching it, but I don't think so. And that's what's happened during this stretch too.
I think you make a good point because they've had a one of the better run differentials in baseball all year, but it has not come around and corrected the record. You know what I mean? Like we always say, like early in the year, the run differential is a better indicator of what you're going to be over the course of the year than your win-loss is. Like, so if you've got a, plus 25 run differential, but you're 4 games below 500, odds are you're probably a pretty good team, and those runs are going to kind of spread out, and your record's going to climb towards that run differential. They've kind of just been, they jumped out to that hot start, and they've really been, I know. And it's fine that this will get you there, but they've kind of been a 500 team for quite a while, right?
Right, they have, but now they're in another one of these funks. The last 19 games, they're 7-12. They've averaged 3.4 runs a game, and they've had 2 or 3 explosive games in that stretch too. So they're just sort of a feast or famine offensive team, and now you are operating in a landscape where Vinny Pasquantino isn't there, and so. I still feel good. The calendar is in their favor. The amount of games is in their favor. The Tigers are going to Baltimore. Now, Baltimore hasn't played well for a while, but they got a big walk-off win yesterday, and that's not an easy place to play. So, and the opposition isn't great, but, they just haven't taken advantage of a lot of things. And, they really... When they were going through when they bounced back from the losses and won 7 straight, you're kind of thinking, maybe that Sunday game against the Giants, they'll be able to have a little celebration or something, and that's out the window now. So now they're going to have to do it on the road. So, there's, like I said, I'm not panicking yet because there's 9 games left and they have a 2-game edge. So that's still significant. And they're playing the Giants this weekend. You should take 2 out of 3. If they take 2 out of 3 this weekend, it's going to be pretty hard for them to lose it.
Yeah, I would agree if they do it, but there's really no indicator that they will. And when they went 7-2 after the 7-game losing streak, you're like, okay, the losing streak, that was the anomaly. That's the part that doesn't belong. But now as we sit here, and they've dropped 4 in a row after losing, after this, when they lost Pasquantino, you now have a 7-game losing streak and a 4-game losing streak around that 7-2. And by the way, they went 1-2 against the Yankees in that 7-2, and they beat up on, they grabbed the last one, I think it was, against Cleveland, and then they swept, who was it they swept, Curtis? Was it Minnesota? I think it was Minnesota.
May have been.
Who hasn't been playing great ball. Minnesota.
They did sweep Minnesota.
And then they took 2 out of 3 from the Pirates, who are about 10 games below 500 now. So, it really kind of is it's starting to look like since Vinny Pasquantino went down, the anomaly is the 7-2. And the idea that they're going to get red hot here against the Giants, even the Nationals and the Braves, is kind of fool's gold. I think now I even heard, I was listening to The Zone as I was driving over here to Paymore, and, Mick Schaefer's like, well, if you can just get 4, right? Get 1 win against the Giants, get 1 win against the Braves, and just win the series against Washington. We're now setting our sights Like, well, we know they're not going 6-3. We know they're not going 7-2. But if he can just find a way to, barf up 4 wins, then that means the Tigers got to do this or the Twins have got to do that. And I think that speaks to what the mindset is. The mindset is that the team is not at its best right now, which we were kind of hoping that we knew it wasn't going to be at its very best because of Pasquantino being down. But I think there was a hope that's like, no, but they're still a salty bunch and anything can happen in the baseball playoffs. It looks a little rougher now.
It does. And to Curtis's point about this being so important tonight with Black on the mound against Waka, they missed Logan Webb. He pitched yesterday. I watched the Orioles-Giants game, and they walked it off against the closer, who is great. He looks nasty, so I don't want any part of the Giants' bullpen, which has been great for like 6 weeks now. But you have Blake Snell on Sunday, and he's been great for the Giants. So this game tonight's important.
And you have Brady Singer tomorrow, which you never know what you're going to get anymore.
And recently, his ERA's over 5 since August 1st. So, yes, I think what we're looking at now, we're kind of grasping for straws and trying to lean to the tape instead of really feeling like you're good.
Oh, for sure. And that's exactly what they had with the Tigers. You had your 2 aces, for lack of a better term, up first, and then you had Skubal at the end. You're like, okay, well, we just want to get one. Let's get one of those 2, and with our 2 aces, we're good on that. They don't, and then they had very little chance against Skubal. And so now you look at it the same way with the Giants. Well, let's get one. And in reality, that you need to start winning some games. I think the Twins are in bad shape.
Yeah, they are.
And I think the Royals may back towards the playoffs. I think the Twins may be laying on their back and dead right now. I think that may be the saving grace for the Royals. Because I will tell you this right now. I feel like the Tigers are in. Right? They're not slowing down. I think their gas is on the pedal. And, oh, by the way, they have the White Sox for 3 at the end. That's like it's literally, and if they go into that series, it'll be all hands on deck for that series. So it means it's not just like, well, yeah, the White Sox, but, baseball happens. It does happen. But the Tigers will approach that series like, well, the starter doesn't have it today. He's coming out after 2 2/3.
Right.
We'll empty the clip. And so it's like any idea that the White Sox might back ass into some win against the Tigers is very remote because the Tigers will treat that like it's a playoff series if that's what they need to do to get in. So I think the Tigers are there. Like, I think they're just going to go right by, and it's a matter of keeping the Twins down. I'd love to tell you that, like, oh, Baltimore's struggling. Maybe we can get to the 1. No chance. No chance of that happening.
Oh, no, I don't think
if
so.
the Royals pass the Orioles, so will the Tigers.
Yes, and I think the Orioles, they got an emotional win yesterday. They're just, how much I hate do, but the Orioles are too good at offense. They've been averaging like 2.5 runs for 3 weeks. There's just too much firepower there, and they're starting to get some guys back, too. So Ryan Mountcastle's coming back, and yeah, you can tell I watched the Orioles game yesterday. I know too much about what's going on with the Orioles.
You can never know too much.
By the way, Jim Palmer is quite a good analyst. I hadn't heard him in a long time. So
does he still look like hell?
And they didn't do a studio shot of him. I mean, a booth shot of him. So anyway, but
Mason
also
Black,
you can hope what another thing to hope for if you're a Royals fan who just wants help is that the Mets have kicked the Braves out by the last series, and the Braves don't care. I mean, the Mets are 2 games ahead now, so it's theoretically possible that the Braves would be, eliminated by the last 3 games. Not likely,
yes,
but possible.
But generally speaking, I mean, I don't know what the Braves will do. A team that's won a world championship recently, I don't know that they're going to be like, well, let's go ahead and knock somebody out. This is going to be our playoffs. Yeah. I'm with you. I don't know that they can muster
the playoffs.
That.
They've been a team of high expectations for several years now. Again, and they'll probably sit guys down. I don't even know what their Sunday lineup would look like if they're out of it. Every Mo that doesn't want to sit on a beach the next day or is fighting for his contract life will be in there. And
I'll say this about the Braves too, though. They are so banged up that they already kind of look like the Sunday lineup a lot of nights.
Right.
I mean, they've taken on a lot of water. Let's mention what we're talking about here with Mason Black. Yes, that Mason Black. And if you're like, oh, that one? Yeah, then stop lying because nobody knows who the hell Mason Black is. Mason Black, last 3 starts, 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 6 Ks. That came back on